Hello, this tutorial is for the Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction Enforcement Act form, or easier to say, FL-105 in family law cases and GC-120 in guardianship cases. The prime purpose of this form is to prove to the court that your child or children have been living in the county where you are filing for the last 6 months before you file your petition. This also includes the child's entire life if the child is less than 6 months old. As with all of the Judicial Council forms, you will start by putting your name, address, city, state, and zip code in the upper left-hand corner because you are a party without attorney. You don't have to put in your telephone number or email address, but it is recommended. The next thing you have to fill out is the county court where you are filing your petition and the address. For example, if you are filing in Siskiyou County, then you would just type in Siskiyou there. The address for Siskiyou Court is 311 4th Street, Eureka 96097, and this is the family/civil branch. The petitioner is the person who is filing the initial petition. If this is a divorce, then the petitioner is the person filing the divorce papers. This form is also used in custody petitions, so that information would go there. In a guardianship case, the petitioner is actually, in a guardianship case, you would put in the name of the child who you are seeking guardianship of down there. Anyways, the respondent then would be the person who you are either divorcing or the other parent from whom you are seeking a custody order. If we scroll down, you'll note that there is a checkbox here. In certain cases, mostly relating to domestic violence, the parent filling this form out may have a confidential address. That confidential address you can only get by going through a process that you can start at the Domestic Violence and Crisis Center here in Eureka, or at any domestic violence shelter in California. If you are not in the confidential address program, do not check that box because your address does not actually qualify as confidential. Skip down to paragraph 3. So here you'll just put in the number of children that are going to be in this case. For example, if you are married and have 2 children, then you just would type in 2. Okay, you'll start with the name of one of your children or your child if you only have one. It doesn't matter which order you put them in. You could put them oldest to youngest, youngest to oldest, alphabetical, whatever it is. It's just information for one child here, then information for the next child goes down here. So you'll start with the child's name, place of birth. You can just do city and state, or if your child was born in Eureka and you want to put Fairchild, that's fine, but I would probably just stick with city and state. Your child's date of birth, male or female, and period of residence. So This means that where you have been living up until today, um, and when you move there. So if you have been living in a house for since maybe January 2018, you could write January 2018 to present. The goal of this form is to provide address information. The form says 5 years. I think that you need at least 6 months. I think it's probably better to do 5 years, but at least get 6 months. You'll put in the actual address, who the child lived with. If it's only been you, put in your name and then put in mom or dad or aunt or uncle or grandma or grandpa, whatever the case may be. The confidential address bit, again, this is only if you are in the state's confidential address program. If you're not sure if you are or not, you probably are not, because you have to go through quite a process to get a confidential address. If your other child has been living in the same place as the child whose name you put down first, then just mark that box and you don't have to fill that part of it out again. If you have more than 2 children, you will need to find this form FL-105A. It has room to name additional children and mark the box that says that that form is going to be attached. It's possible that you and the other parent have other court cases together involving your children. For example, if there is a family law case going, mark the box there, put the case number if you know it, at least put the court or county where the case is proceeding. If none of these apply, that's fine, you can leave them blank. At the bottom, you will need to either type or print your name, sign your name, and this form has to be attached to the petition for dissolution, or the petition for parentage, or the petition for custody, or the guardianship. Those are the documents that this form gets attached to.